You know, when the seed germinates after sowing in the field, then that seed will be converted to plumule and radicle, right? You know, plumule and radicle.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Later,
sir.
plumule converted to shoot and radicle converted to root. And the root system of most of the agricultural crops remain in the top soil. We call it rhizosphere zone. What is rhizosphere zone? Anyone? What is rhizosphere? What is phyllosphere? Have you heard this term before? Rhizosphere and phyllosphere? Yes or not?
No, sir.
No, sir.
A rhizosphere means the topmost soil from the surface. That is almost 6 inches. You know, the topmost 15 centimeter from the surface, we called it rhizosphere zone, especially the area of the soil where the root system remain. We called it rhizosphere. Below ground below ground parts, the topmost 15 centimeter depth, from top to 15 centimeter depth. So this area we called rhizosphere. When the root system are distributed in this zone, we call it rhizosphere, the topmost soil where the root system remain in the soil. And what is phyllosphere? The above ground plant part where leaf, flower, fruit, stem, twigs, branches remain. Above ground plant part, we call it phyllosphere. You understand? And rhizosphere is below ground region where the root systems are distributed. Normally 15 centimeter is considered to be the rhizosphere zone because the root system of most of the agricultural plants, for example, most of the agronomic and field crops, agronomic and horticultural crops, the root systems remain, but not in case of the tree species. Okay. So what happens? Nematode, plant parasitic nematodes also present in the rhizosphere zone. When the seed germinated, seed produce root, you know, because of the metabolism, they are continuously occurring in the plant, both in root and both in the leaf, shoot, stem, flower, twig, etc. There are continuous metabolic process in every seconds. And because of this metabolic process, there are some byproduct. You know, metabolism means catabolism and anabolism. That is chemical reaction, biochemical reactions occurring inside the cell. And as a result of these biochemical reactions, there will be some new chemicals will be produced. Some chemicals will be absorbed in the plant, and some of the chemicals will go outside of the plant through the root or through the other plant part. So you know the root. What is the function of root? Primarily, root gives mechanical support to the plant. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
What about
Yes,
the
sir.
function of root? Okay. The root gives mechanical support to the plant. What happens if we dissect the root system? What happens? That plant cannot stand. If the root system we dissect, or if the root system is damaged somehow, that plant cannot stand on the ground because of the wind, or the plant will be wilted, will fall over the ground. Okay, that is the root gives a mechanical support. Because of the root system, the plant can stand straight. Okay. And another function of root in the plant it absorb or uptake water and nutrients from the soil. Another function of root. It uptake water and nutrients or absorb water and nutrients from the soil and later on transport these water and nutrients from root to the other plant part by means of vascular bundle. There are two types of vascular bundle, xylem and phloem. So in this case, xylem tissues, especially xylem vessels, are used to translocate water and nutrients from root zone to the remaining plant part, means from root to the shoot, from shoot to the twig branches, from twig branches to the leaves. You understand? And these water and nutrients are transported by means of vascular vessel, like the blood vessel. We have blood vessel. These vessels transport blood. You know it. Okay. So like the blood vessel, the plant has vascular vessel. Xylem vessel responsible for conduction of water and nutrients, and there is another vessel we call phloem vessel. That phloem vessel is responsible for the conduction of food materials from the green plant part to the remaining plant part. In the green plant part, there will be photosynthesis in the chloroplast in presence of daylight, and the end product of photosynthesis is carbohydrate and oxygen, and that oxygen will be released to the stomata, the natural opening in the plant, in the atmosphere, and that glucose will be transported from chloroplast, from the green cell or from the green tissues to the remaining plant part by means of phloem vessel. Okay, so phloem vessel is responsible for conduction of food materials that is prepared in the green plant part to the remaining plant part, to the stem, to the root, etc. You understand? So the function of root is primarily to give mechanical support to the plant, and then it absorb or uptake and transport or conduct water and nutrients from soil to the above ground plant part. Yeah. Okay, by means of xylem vessel. And another function of root, because of the metabolism, that is because of catabolism or anabolism. Catabolism means breakdown of complex tissue into simple one, and anabolism means formation of the complex material from the simple materials. Okay, for example, when we uptake food, it goes through the digestive systems. Okay, so in the intestine or in the digestive systems, complex carbohydrate broken into glucose, or protein broken into amino acid, lipid or fat broken into fatty acids. So this process, complex to simple one, known as catabolism. And these simple materials, for example, glucose, amino acid, fatty acids, are absorbed at the end of our intestine and mixed with the blood. And finally, it goes to the cell. And again, this amino acid will conjugate with each other and will form protein. By this way, it constitutes our body mass. You understand? Or the fatty acid will be deposited and will produce fat. This process is known as anabolism, from simple to complex. And catabolism means complex materials disrupted into simple one. You got it? Okay. So because of this metabolism, some products are produced that are not used by the plant or by the animal. So those products we call byproduct, and those byproduct will goes outside of the body, either plant body or human body or animal body. We call it excreta. You understand? So these byproduct will goes outside the plant by means of root in the form of root exudate, kind of liquid. Okay, so another function of root is to excrete the byproduct of metabolism in the form of root exudate, kind of liquid the plant secrete. And remember, very interesting phenomena in this case, there are function of root exudate. What does the root exudates do? Some root exudates attract the plant parasitic nematode or another group of pathogen, whereas some root exudate repel the microorganism from the root zone. You understand? So the function of root exudate is either to attract the pathogen or to detract or repel the pathogen from the root zone to the distant area. And attraction means from distant area, the pathogen will be attracted to the root area. You understand? And there are differences in between resistant plant and susceptible plant. Why the plants are resistant and why the plants are susceptible? Okay, why the plants, some plants are diseased and why the some plants seem to be healthy in the natural conditions because of the difference in composition of root exudates. So it has been found that the root exudate of susceptible plant contain some chemical, and those chemicals responsible for the attraction of pathogen from the distant area to the root zone. Mind it. On the other hand, on the contrary, the root exudate of resistant plant contain some chemicals. Those chemicals are responsible for the repulsion of pathogen from the root zone to the distant area. You got it?
Sir, এটা বুঝতে পারিনি স্যার একবার বলবেন
So in the soil there is root system distributed in the rhizosphere, right? In the soil there are also nematode, include also bacteria, fungi and virus, for example. Okay, but there is always distance between root and pathogen. Okay, so when the root secrete the root exudate in the form of liquid, some liquid substance are excreted from the root, we call it root exudate. So root exudates are composed of some chemicals, byproduct. Okay, some of the byproducts attract the pathogen. On the contrary, some of the byproduct detract or repel the pathogen from root to the distant area, and some chemicals attract the pathogen from distant area to the root area. You got it? And it has been found that the root exudate of resistant plant repel the pathogen from root to the distant area, and root exudate of susceptible plant attract the pathogen from the distant area to the root area. Okay, so let's consider about the susceptible plant. So the root exudate of susceptible plant will contain or will have some chemicals. Those chemicals will attract pathogen. As a result, the plant parasitic nematode will be able to locate the root tip, for example, or to the root zone. Once the nematode locate the root zone, then this nematode, with the help of stylet, it makes puncture to the root. Okay, so the stylet will be inserted to the root. As a result, there will be injury. You understand? There will be damage or disruption in the root zone because of the continuous puncture by the stylet. Stylet means the needle-like structure present in the head region of plant parasitic nematode. Okay, so that stylet we will be using to puncture the root zone. As a result, there will be damage, there will be disruption in the root zone. And you can see here, lesion. Lesion means kind of disruption or damage because of attack of pathogen or parasitic nematode. Okay, there will be lesion. So once there will be puncture with the help of stylet, some nematode goes inside the root. Okay, so the total nematode will go inside the root. You remember endoparasite from the last class? That is the whole body part of nematode will go inside the plant, inside the root or inside the stem or inside the fruit. Okay, so some nematodes are endoparasite, and those endoparasite will enter the root and will move through the root and will select a region, especially the vascular region. Okay, so after that, the nematode also secretes some liquid by the mouth part. Okay, so like saliva, you understand? So nematode will secrete some saliva from the salivary gland. You understand? So the function of salivary gland is to secrete the saliva containing a group of enzymes in the intestine as well as to the plant part after insertion. Okay, those saliva will contain group of enzyme. Okay, or in this case we call effector. Write down it, effector. So the nematode will secrete or will spit, for example, will spit some liquid from the salivary gland, and those liquids are known as like the root exudate, this known as effector. EFFECTORS. Effectors. Effectors means group of chemicals, especially group of proteins in this case. Okay, some of the protein will arrest the cell cycle, for example. As a result, that plant will not be growing because the cell cycle is already arrested. And how the cell cycle is arrested or cell division is arrested? Because nematode saliva has some chemical, those chemicals are responsible to arrest the cell division in the plant. Okay, as a result, that plant will be dormant. So there will be no further growth and development of that plant. And thousands of effectors present inside the saliva. Some effector will break down the normal cell division or normal cell cycle. Okay, you know, each and every character of plant or animal or human being is controlled by a pair of gene or by more than one pair of gene. Okay, you know it, right? Each and every character of either plant or animal or human being is controlled by gene, either a pair of gene or more than one pair of gene. We called it monogenic character or polygenic character. If a character is controlled by one pair of gene, we called it monogenic character. If the character is controlled by more than one pair of gene, we called it polygenic character. You understand? So the normal cell division, that is from one cell to two cell, from two cell to four cell to eight cell. This is the normal cell division, right? So this character, this is a character from 1 to 2 cell, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 64. Okay, so in this way, normal cell division proceeds. But if somehow the gene controlling this normal cell division is disrupted because of the effector secreted by plant parasitic nematode, then the cell division become uncontrolled. Maybe from one cell there will be 100 cell. Maybe from 100 cell there will be million cells. That is
স্যার
the
একটা কোশ্চেন ছিল
yes. Tell me.
স্যার আপনি কি স্লাইড চেঞ্জ করতেছেন না নাকি একটা
No.
স্লাইডই
The same slide, the lesson. I was discussing the lesson, and now I am discussing galls or swelling. Okay, look at the number two, the symptoms, gall or swelling. How gall is formed inside the plant. What is gall? I was discussing this one. Okay, have you seen tumor? What is tumor? The swelling of tissues. The same thing we call gall or swelling or knot, K-N-O-T, knot. Okay, or you can tell cancer, the same thing, cancer or tumor or gall or knot. All these are synonymous words. Write down it. Gall or knot, K-N-O-T, knot, or swelling or tumor or cancer. This is actually kind of tumor or gall or knot or swelling of tissues. Okay, and how tumor is formed, how cancer is occurred, how gall is formed in the plant. In case of human being we call cancer or tumor. In case of plant we call gall or knot or swelling. You got it? Okay, so how gall is formed? Actually, some of the effectors secreted by the salivary gland of plant parasitic nematode will disrupt the normal cell division. As a result, in a particular area, especially in the vascular tissues, the cell division become uncontrolled. As a result, numerous cells are formed, not from 1 to 2, from 1 to 100 cell might form, from 100 to million cell might be formed. Okay, so this process, uncontrolled cell division, is known as hyperplasia. Hyperplasia, write down it. Hyperplasia. Can you write hyperplasia?
Spellingটা বলেন।
HYPER hyperplasia. Just follow this one. Is Y hyperplasia. Can you follow this one? Hyperplasia.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hyperplasia. So hyperplasia means uncontrolled cell division. Okay. So instead of, for example, 2 cell, there will be 100 cell or might be 1,000 cell. Okay. And another term is, write it, hypertrophy. Write the term hypertrophy. Hypertrophy. Can you see this one? Hypertrophy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
hypertrophy means abnormal enlargement of an individual cell. The giant size cell. Maybe if the normal cell size is, for example, if the diameter is 1 micrometer, then because of hypertrophy, the diameter will be 100 or 400 micrometer. That is 400 times enlargement. Each cell become enlarged. How much? Maybe 400 times enlarged. That is, if the normal cell size is 1 micrometer, for example, if the diameter, then because of the hypertrophy, the diameter of that cell will be 400 micrometer. Okay, hypertrophy means abnormal enlargement of an individual cell. So what happens actually? There are two phenomena. Number one, hyperplasia, that is excess cell division, uncontrolled cell division, and followed by hypertrophy. Each cell will be giant sized. Each cell will be giant sized, 400 times larger than the normal size, cell size. So as a result, those area will be large or will look like tumor. You understand? You got it? Will look like tumor or will look like we call gall or knot. You got it? Why
Yes.
there will be, why there will be swelling of tissues? Why there will be tumor formation in the root, for example? Why there will be gall or knot formation in the root? Because of two phenomena. Number one is hyperplasia, and number two is hypertrophy. Hyperplasia means cell division will be uncontrolled. Millions of cells will be produced within minutes or within hours, and those thousands or millions of cells will be converted to large sized, very large size cell. Each cell will be large size. As a result, those areas will be swollen and finally will form tumor or gall or knot. We call it cancer. You understand? So this is how it occurs.
হাইপারট্রফিটা আরেকবার একটু বললে ভালো হতো।
Hypertrophy means abnormal enlargement. Abnormal enlargement of an individual cell. The small cell converted to very large size cell. The cell size become very large. We call it hypertrophy. And hyperplasia means uncontrolled cell divisions. Instead of 2 cells, there will be thousands of cells or millions of cells. You got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what happens if there is tumor or gall or knot is formed in the root of the plant? What is the after effect?
Sir,
Any
will
idea? Yes. So actually this gall or knot will be formed in the vascular vessel area. You got it? And because of the formation of tumor or gall, these will exert pressure in the root zone. As a result, the xylem vessel is blocked. Xylem vessel and in some cases phloem vessel will be blocked. So think about the human being. When we eat, for example, lot of lipid or fat, what happens? In our blood vessel, there will be formation of clot or block. You got it? When there will be formation of block in the heart or in the blood vessel, the blood cannot be transported from heart to the other body part or from other body part to the heart. As a result, there will be heart attack because of the presence of block or clot or in the blood vessel. So similarly, because of the formation of tumor, gall or knot in the xylem vessel, the water conduction will be hampered or food conduction will be hampered. Then what happens? If the water and nutrients cannot be transported from soil to the leaf or from soil to the above ground plant part, what is the after effect? Or if the food materials cannot be transported from the leaf to the root zone, what is the after effect? Can you tell me?
Sir, পানি কন্টাক্ট করতে পারবে না গাছ।
Yes.
স্যার ওয়াটার কন্টাক্ট করতে পারবে না উপর পর্যন্ত, শুটের বেশিরভাগ অংশ স্যার নেতিয়ে পড়বে আর কি।
Okay. You know, water is essential for every life. In case of plant, water is also essential. If there is no water in the plant, there will be no photosynthesis, mind it, because water is the raw material of photosynthesis. You got it? There will be no photosynthesis if water conduction is hampered. If there is no water in the plant anymore, means there is no photosynthesis. No photosynthesis means no glucose. No glucose means there will be no respiration. In the plant, there is also another reaction in the mitochondria we call respiration. What is the respiration? Glucose plus oxygen is equal to ATP plus carbon dioxide. Okay, so ATP is used in the form of heat or energy. So in absence of water, primarily photosynthesis will be stopped. And if there is no photosynthesis, there will be no respiration, because glucose is the raw material of respiration. No respiration means no energy. No energy means all the essential biochemical reaction to survive in the plant or to continue the life will be stopped, because energy is needed to continue each and every biochemical reaction occurring in every second inside the plant. So in absence of energy, those biochemical reactions, essential biochemical reactions will be stopped, and the plant will be weak primarily, and finally will be dead. And because of the blockage of the xylem vessel, the nutrient conductions are also hampered. And you know the function of nutrients in the plant, the function of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, boron. There are about 17 essential nutrient elements. Some are macro, some are micro. So those nutrients elements are needed for the formation of chlorophyll, for the formation of other biochemical inside the plant. So if the nutrient conductions are hampered, those essential biochemical will not be formed. Will not be formed. There will be no photosynthesis, for example, or there will be blockage of formation of other essential thousands of biochemical compounds present in the plant. Okay. And if there is no formation of chlorophyll, that plant will turn to yellow in color. Although root tumor or root gall or root not present in the below ground plant part, but we can see that the above ground plant part are affected. The leaf become yellow in color because of lack of nutrients. The leaf will be wilted, or the twig will be wilted because of lack of water. And finally, that plant will be dead. You got it? So there might be excessive root branching because the nematode might secrete some chemical. Nematode contain hormone, phytohormone. Nematode has auxin, for example, in the saliva. Or nematode might produce auxin, and those auxin will go inside the plant, and you know the function of auxin in the plant, phytohormone. So I have done my master thesis from the Department of Biotechnology in Ghent University, Belgium, and I have conducted a thesis on the function of different phytohormone in the interaction between a plant parasitic nematode and oomycete pathogen in the rice root. And I have seen that the saliva of plant parasitic nematode contain some phytohormone, including auxin. So you know the function of auxin. The farmers apply auxin or spray auxin for the growth of the plant, for shoot growth or for root growth. Okay, auxin normally promote the root growth. Okay, and cytokinin promote the shoot growth. So because of the auxin present in the saliva of nematode, there might be excessive root branching. And there are some nematodes, those nematodes contain virus in their body, inside their intestine. We call virus vector nematode. For example, Trichodoras. Write it, name of some virus vector nematode. Trichodoras. Longidoras, Paratrichodoras. Okay? So these are some virus vector nematode. Okay, so when the nematode secrete the saliva, along with the saliva, nematode also secrete some virus inside the plant, and because of those virus, might be the plant pathogenic virus. Because of those virus, the stem and leaves become disrupted or distorted or twisted. Virus infection makes the plant twisted. There might be curling, there might be rolling, there might be twisting or distortion in the stem or in the twigs, in the branch, in the leaves, etc. Okay? And disruption in flower development or sterility. That plant might be sterile. There are a number of reasons why the plant becomes sterile, why the plant don't produce flower or fruit or seed. So what is complete life cycle? Complete life cycle for plant means seed to seed. That is, after sowing seed, that seed will be germinated, and that seedling will be a matured plant. That matured plant will produce flower. That flower will produce fruit. That fruit will produce seed. We call it complete life cycle. But sometimes we can see that there might be matured plant, but there might not be any flower in the plant. Sometimes we experience in our kitchen garden, we can see that there is no flower in the plant. In case of vegetables and fruits, there might be flower, but there might not be any fruit formation. Sometimes we also see the phenomenon like this. Flower is formed, but there is no fruit formation. Sometimes we see that fruit is formed from the flower, but there is no seed formation in that fruit. If there is no seed formation in the fruit, we call it the plant is sterile. For example, in this case, that plant cannot complete the life cycle. That is, that plant cannot survive in the nature. Because if there is no seed, there will not be any next generation. Okay? Incomplete life cycle, we call it. And why this sterility or disruption in flower development or fruit development happened in the nature? Do you know why the plant becomes sterile? Anyone, can you tell me?
No, sir.
Okay, mind it, and listen carefully. So in absence of only one essential nutrient element out of 17, the plant becomes sterile. Out of 17, if there is absence of only one essential nutrient element, that plant cannot complete life cycle. That is, there will be no seed to seed formation in absence of only one essential nutrient element out of 17. Okay? So this is the significance of applying fertilizer containing essential nutrient element. Okay? So we have to ensure the supplement of each and every essential nutrient element to the soil to promote the successful completion of life cycle. If there is some case, we have to look for the nutrient status in the soil. We have to test the nutrient in the soil. After testing, if we see that there is absence of nitrogen, for example, we have to apply nitrogen. If there is absence of sulfur, we have to apply sulfur containing fertilizer. If there is absence of potassium, we have to apply potassium containing fertilizer. That is, we have to ensure the presence of each essential nutrient element in the soil in adequate doses. Okay. Mind it, in absence of essential nutrient element, the plant becomes sterile. in absence of essential nutrient element, the plant becomes susceptible to the plant pathogen. Okay, that plant will be sterile. At the same time, that plant will be susceptible to a number of biotic and abiotic stress. Okay, and another one, because of the nematode attack, the root tip might be dead or might be incapacitated. Okay, so these are the symptoms when the plant are attacked by plant parasitic nematodes. Okay, so what happens when the plant is attacked by plant parasitic nematode? Then that plant will be exposed to another group of pathogen, for example, bacteria present in the soil. You know, bacteria cannot enter the plant forcefully, cannot enter the plant independently. Only bacteria can enter the plant by means of natural opening, for example, stomata, lenticel, hydrathodes. And if there is injury in the plant, so at the point of injury, bacteria will enter the plant. Without injury, or if the natural openings are closed, then bacteria will not be able to enter the plant. Let's say the natural openings are closed in the root zone, then bacteria can cause infection to the root only if there is injury in the root, and that injury is caused by plant parasitic nematode, by the stylate of plant parasitic nematode. So bacteria will enter the through the injury. Some fungi will enter the plant through this point, and along with the nematode, if the nematode is virus vector, that nematode also transmit virus to the root zone. So actually there will be disease complex, and this disease complex is initiated by plant parasitic nematode. Once the plant is exposed to nematode, primarily there will be nematode infestation, and later on there will be infection caused by bacteria, there will be infection caused by virus, and there will be infection caused by fungi. So there will be complex, disease complex. So that plant will be exposed to all group of pathogen, both fungi, bacteria, virus, and nematode. And within a single day or within 2 to 3 days, those plants will be dead, for example. And you can see the pictorial view, for example, here. How does the plant look like once the plant is attacked by nematode? Can you see the different pictorial view of different plant attacked by different group of plant parasitic nematode? Can you see this slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For example, this group of plant is attacked by root knot nematode, or tumor causing nematode, or gall or knot or cancer causing nematode, melodogyne. Okay, melodogyne, the genus is root knot nematode, mind it. So this nematode attack the root. So after attacking, the nematode will go inside the root, and after entering the root, it selects the vascular vessel, and there will be formation of tumor or knot or gall or swelling in the vascular area. As a result, the root look like this one. You can see here the swelling of root tissue, swelling of root tissue, root knot. Okay, and there are some nematode we call cyst nematode. This will be CYST, cyst nematode, Heterodera, Globodera. These two species are known as cyst nematode. They also produce knot-like structure in the root zone, but not as distinct as root knot. Okay, and lesion nematode, it will cause damage or disruption or destruction in the root zone. We call it lesion nematode. Pratylenchus. Then stem and bulb nematode. The stem, you know, this is the modified stem. You can see here the onion, rye, potato, modified stem. These are all modified stem, right?
Is a
Potato.
drop like that also?
Yes. Any question? repeat it. Any question?
স্যার সিসটা কি নেমাটোড বলছিলেন?
Root knot nematode. The left hand side melodogyne is known as root knot nematode, and heterodera and globodera, another genus, globodera, 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 cyst nematode, and Platylenchus is known as lesion nematode. I might ask you a list: one root knot, one cyst, one lesion, one stem and bulk nematode, one seed gall nematode, one foliar nematode, one stubby root nematode, one burrowing nematode, one dagger nematode, one sting nematode. Okay, these are the general name, common name, and this is the scientific name, genus name. Okay, so this is the root knot nematode. This is the common name, and melodogyne, this is the scientific name or genus name. You got it? Okay. You can see here stubby root of corn, maize, caused by trichodoras. You can see here stubby root here. This one, left hand side. You can see here stunting of garlic caused by Ditelenchus dipsaceae. You can see nematode infestation. You can see here the right hand side, nematode infestation. Sugar beet. You can see here the shape is deformed. This is the normal shape, and this is the deformed shape caused by heterodera shakti. You can see here chlorosis. Chlorosis means destruction of chlorophyll. What is the function of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll makes the plant green. Okay, you can see here this plant does not remain green anymore because of the chlorosis. And why there will be chlorosis? Because the nematode, because of the formation of knot in the root zone, the nutrient transportation will be hampered, and because of the presence of the nutrient, there will be retardation of chlorophyll synthesis, because chlorophyll is formed by calcium, magnesium, sulfur. These are the nutrient element, biochemical composition of chlorophyll, and those nutrients are not transported because of the presence of root knot in the root zone. As a result, the plant become yellow. You can see here. Okay, because of absence of nutrient. Any question?